Hello friends. If you have a traditional IRA, you have been leaving alone, letting it grow. Not touching it. Stay right here. Inside that balance is a portion that has never been entirely yours. The Internal Revenue Service holds a claim on a share that grows silently every year the account does. When the law forces a withdrawal, that amount lands as ordinary income, stacks on Social Security, can push your bracket higher, and quietly raises your Medicare premium for years because of a timing rule nobody explains. If you are widowed and filing alone, the forced withdrawal does not shrink. The tax protection nearly cuts in half. There is a window, a specific stretch of years, where all of that can still be shaped in your favor. Many people inside that window are not using it. Because of one concern, they cannot get a straight answer to the Medicare premium surcharge. Today, we are answering that completely. Using the thresholds the Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services publishes, and inside that rule is a piece of timing. Almost nobody knows about a window within the window. That is what we close before this video ends. Quick context before we go further. This video is for United States retirees and pre-retirees with traditional individual retirement accounts or 401k plans who want to understand how Roth conversions interact with Medicare premium rules. Everything draws from the Internal Revenue Service, the Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services, and the Social Security Administration. The goal is to explain the 2-year look-back rule clearly so you can have a more informed conversation with a licensed professional. This is educational content only, not personalized financial, tax, or legal advice. And nothing here is a promise that you will save or receive any specific amount of money. Please consult a licensed professional before any major decision. 5 things in our countdown. The Internal Revenue Service taxes your Roth conversion in the year it happens. The Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services looks back 2 years to set your premium surcharge. Nobody hands you a map when those 2 timelines connect. Today, we build it. Subscribe now for more retirement explanations like this one. And before we begin, have you been leaving your traditional IRA untouched? For the surcharge concern or any other reason, type yes in the comments and add how many years. Number 5 in our countdown. When you contributed to your traditional individual retirement account and took the tax deduction, you deferred the tax, you did not eliminate it. A portion of that balance has never been entirely yours. The Internal Revenue Service holds a claim on a share that grows silently every year the account does. But at 73 for most, or 75 for those born in 1960 or later, per the Secure 2.0 Act, the government stops letting you choose when to withdraw. It forces a distribution every year. And the fraction required grows larger every year as you age. The mistake is not saving, it is assuming the leave it alone strategy still applies in the second chapter. It does not. The second chapter begins at 59 and a half. Pause and write down gap years 59 and a half to the age when forced withdrawals begin. That distance is your open window. Number 3 in our countdown. Between 59 and a half and the age when required withdrawals begin, your income is often lower than it will ever be again. The lower rungs of the tax brackets can have empty room that goes to waste unless you deliberately fill it. Filling it means converting a portion of the traditional account into a Roth during a lower income year. The Internal Revenue Service treats the converted amount as ordinary income in the year of conversion, which is why the sizing matters. The money moves into the Roth, where qualified future distributions are tax-free per the Internal Revenue Service. Every dollar you move during the gap years is one less dollar forced out later. When your income is already stacked, your bracket is higher, and you have no leverage left at all. Number 1 in our countdown, the practical toolkit. Each gap year, estimate your projected total income. Check how much room is left before the next tax bracket, and convert just enough traditional account money to fill that room no more. The goal is measured annual movement rather than one large conversion that spikes your bracket in a single year. A second tool the Internal Revenue Service provides for those aged 70 and a half or older is the Qualified Charitable Distribution. Sending money directly from your traditional individual retirement account to a qualified charity, up to the IRS annual limit, counts toward your required withdrawal without appearing as taxable income. It cannot raise your bracket or affect your Medicare premium calculation at all. Verify the IRS eligibility requirements with a licensed professional before using this tool. For anyone past 73, this tool remains available, and a professional may see additional options. Before the climax, Barbara, this is an illustrative composite, not a real individual. Barbara is 67, a retired nurse from the Midwest with a traditional individual retirement account worth about $290,000. She collects a small pension and started Social Security at 65. When she heard about Roth conversions, a neighbor on Medicare warned her the surcharge will spike your premiums. Do not convert. Barbara stopped researching and left the account untouched for 2 full years. A retirement tax professional showed her that her total income placed her well below the surcharge threshold for a single filer. As published by the Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services Meaningful Conversion Room at zero surcharge exposure. 2 years of the gap years window. Gone not because the rule stopped her, but a misunderstanding of it did. If any part of that sounds familiar, the next section is for you. Number 4 in our countdown. When required withdrawals begin, the fraction of your balance forced out each year grows larger as you age. According to the Social Security Administration, once your combined income crosses certain thresholds, with forced withdrawals arriving as ordinary income, up to 85% of your Social Security benefit can become taxable. That same income can push your bracket higher at the same time. And because the Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services sets Medicare premiums based on your income from 2 years prior, large withdrawals in your early 70s raise your Medicare Part B premium years later. One forced withdrawal creates 4 cascading effects, all of them sized by the account you arrived with. When one spouse is gone, the survivor files alone on narrower single-filer brackets. But the forced withdrawal does not shrink. The tax protection cuts nearly in half. Number 2 in our countdown, the climax, and the question open since the beginning of this video. Let us answer it using what the Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services actually publishes. The Medicare premium surcharge, the income-related monthly adjustment amount, is added to your Medicare Part B and Part D premiums when your income exceeds thresholds. The Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services publishes each year income below the threshold means the standard premium. Cross the first tier and a surcharge is added. Medicare does not use this year's income to set your premium. It uses the income from your federal tax return filed 2 years ago. That is confirmed by the Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services, the 2-year look-back. What this means, a Roth conversion you do this year affects your Medicare premium in 2 years, not next year. If you keep your total income for this year, including the proposed conversion below the published threshold for your filing status, the conversion triggers no surcharge at all. Pause and write down 3 numbers. 1, your modified adjusted gross income from 2 years ago. That is what the Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services is using for your current premium. 2, the current surcharge threshold for your filing status. published on the official Medicare website and updated each year. 3. Your projected income for this year, including any conversion you are considering. Compare number 3 to number 2. The space between them is your conversion room. And now the window within the window, if you are 59, 60, 61, or 62, and you convert this year, that income appears on your tax return before most people are even enrolled in Medicare. The 2-year look-back reaches back to income from before your Medicare coverage began. No surcharge exposure at all. Just bracket room, filled on your terms. At the lowest cost moment of the entire window. Those years are most often wasted by doing nothing. And for couples converting together, every dollar moved into a Roth is one less dollar the surviving spouse will be forced to withdraw on narrower single-filer brackets later. A cushion no forced withdrawal schedule can ever touch. Type yes or no first time in the comments. If this answered a question you have been carrying for months, tap the thumbs up. Let us bring all 5 together. Number 5, leaving your traditional account untouched compounds a deferred tax liability every year. It is delay, not safety. Number 4, once forced withdrawals begin. Ordinary income stacks on Social Security. Raises Medicare premiums 2 years later per the Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services. And hits surviving spouses hardest all effects sized by the account you arrive with. Number 3, the gap years between 59 and 1/2 and your required withdrawal start date are the only period you hold all the controls once they begin. That leverage is largely gone. Number 2, the surcharge is tied to income from 2 years prior per the Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services. A conversion below the threshold triggers no surcharge. And the earliest gap years are the safest window. Number 1, measured and annual check bracket room. Convert to, but not past the threshold. Use qualified charitable distributions if 70 and 1/2 or older. And if past 73, consult a licensed professional. 3 steps you can take this week at no cost. 3, go to the official Medicare website. Find the current surcharge thresholds for your filing status, single or married filing jointly, and write down the number that applies to you. 2, pull your federal tax return from 2 years ago and find your modified adjusted gross income. That is the exact figure the Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services is using right now for your Medicare premium. 1, compare those 2 numbers. That gap is your starting point for a conversion conversation. Bring both to a licensed tax or financial professional and ask them to size a strategy for your income, bracket, and timeline. If you have a sibling, a grown child, or a close friend with a traditional individual retirement account who has been nervous about Roth conversions because of the surcharge concern, share this video with them today. The gap years window is real and it closes permanently. Make sure the people you care about have this information while their window is still open. In the next video, we go deeper on the surcharge rule, covering every income tier and the types of income most people forget to count. Subscribe so you do not miss it. And before you close this out, go back to the timestamp for number 2 in our countdown. Listen to the income comparison one more time and write down the threshold for your filing status. That number is the foundation of your entire conversion calendar going forward.